everybody. Welcome. It's Thursday night. Welcome to the Cantina Happy Hour. Pull up a stool, grab yourself a drink. Let's talk about Star Wars. I am your host, David. With me, as always, are my co-hosts, Debbie. Debbie, how are you this evening?
All right.
Just all right? Is it cold up there?
Fine. It was today, and it was very windy.
Also with us, as he always is, Cam. Cam, how are you? I know you're driving, but how are you?
Oh yeah, I am doing good. I had a pretty good night tonight. The provider that I worked with today took me out for beer and cigars, so
nice.
I'm in a pretty good mood tonight. I'd say today was a good day.
Awesome. Even though I assume you had to drive or work a long way from home today.
No, not really. I did work out of town, but I worked in. I don't know how familiar you guys are with geography of Florida, but I live in Lake Wales, but I worked in Sebring, which is roughly 45, 50 minutes away. But I'm almost home at the moment. I just got one stop I got to make, but I'll be with you guys through it all.
That's like driving across Dallas. That's nothing.
Yeah,
that's nothing. Also with us tonight is Andrew. Andrew, how are you this evening?
I'm good. So finally over that sickness I had, so that's good. No more hacking up a lung.
Andrew's pretty sick, all right.
Gave it to Dr. Dana the other night, though, through the screen. So that was something.
Speaking of Dr. Dana, I thought of something was brought to my attention, and it kind of has something to do. We're talking about just our I don't want to say our favorite, but some of our what we enjoy about Star Wars being in the popular culture, how it ties into movies, TV shows. By the way, Debbie, I don't know if you saw our background, but Debbie did an amazing job on our background, and I love how No, it was great. It was awesome. I love the Civil War tie-in. You had the Simpsons on there, and for a half a second I was sitting there thinking, what does Civil War have to do with it? And then I was like, oh yeah. That really
remember that old movie?
Geez, Tony, how old is this kid? I didn't carbon date him. He's on the young side. Yeah, it took me a minute to catch that one, but I did. I got it. So yes, bravo, amazing. Love the picture this time. It's awesome.
This time.
I love them all the time, but this one
only this time. You've kept
this
your
one
job.
is especially memorable to me. So, but I was thinking about something because if you've watched the Sith Dominion, they're friends of the show, and if you've watched them, you will know that Dr. Dana is very he's very anti-sequel. Hi, Chewie's butt.
Apologies, audience.
So anyway, Dr. Dana is very anti-sequel. He does not enjoy the sequel movies. He does not like them. I think he was probably in that movement, the Not My Luke Skywalker movement. Heck, he may have started that movement. I don't know. But I was thinking about it, and he's Sith Dominion, and we've got to look at all things dark side, but he's not a very good Sith when it comes to Star Wars. Because if I'm not mistaken, I was watching Revenge of the Sith the other day, and there's that one line: if one wishes to appreciate the Force, one must learn to embrace all aspects of the Force, not the dogmatic narrative put forth by the Jedi. So, Dr. Dana, you not liking the sequel trilogy is kind of not very Sithy of you. Just saying. I don't.
Called out.
Yeah. The gauntlet has been tossed. Just saying. So I will watch Tuesday to see if there's anything said, but I don't know. We'll see. Sometimes he watches us. But anyway, yes, Dr. Dana reminded me of that, or I thought of that while I was watching Revenge of the Sith this past week. But anyway, we are here. We're talking about some of our favorite pop culture references within Star Wars. I'm sure I've mentioned this before on this show. When my wife and I were first dating, she had never seen Star. I think I mentioned it last week. She had never seen Star Wars, or she saw the one movie with the teddy bears in it. Again, dating myself, because that would have been a movie we saw in the theaters, was the movie with the teddy bears. But anyway, she got to where, moving on, we would see things in movies and TV shows, and she would be like, "Oh, that was from Star Wars. Oh, I get that. That's from Star Wars. Oh, I understand that reference now because it's a Star Wars reference." So, Star Wars is ingrained within our pop culture, and it doesn't have to be geeky, nerdy, weird fanboy culture either. I mean, it's like just it's everywhere. There's the famous Friends episode where
Rachel.
The fantasy.
Rachel. Yeah, what's Rachel and Ross are talking. What's your fantasy? Well, did you ever see Return of the Jedi and the gold bikini? And then, of course, there's.
Or did you ever see Came in Focus that one week?
See, I feel like that should be the definitive pop culture reference when it comes to Slave Leia. I'm trying to make myself a pop culture icon here.
Oh yeah. Yes. But anyway, so stuff like that is spattered. There's one, and this one's one of my favorites. And I don't know, this is kind of a lesser known movie. I mean, it seemed like it was going to be a big deal at the time, but it kind of bombed at the box office. Cam, we may need to watch this for Cam in Focus. It was a movie with I can't even remember his name. Who played Hercules in the TV show?
I don't remember.
Sorno.
Kevin Sorbo.
Sorbo.
Yes. Kevin Sorbo and Tia Carrera, and it was Kull the Conqueror. And it was a fantasy movie. It was supposed to be a Conan movie, but I think Arnold turned it down, so they made it Kull. Like Conan the Barbarian, not Conan O'Brien. But anyway, yeah, Tia plays the bad guy in this one, and she's got one line in it. Well, she's got a lot of lines, but the one line that's the Star Wars line, and she says at some point, "I'm altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further." I mean, word for word. I was like, oh. I was like the DiCaprio meme. Oh, he said it.
Oh God.
It's the line. And it has, again, the movie has absolutely nothing to do with Star Wars, but the Star Wars line was in it. So that made me a happy camper. Altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further. James Earl Jones said it first. But anyway, other than that, we're kind of talking about some of our favorite pop culture references, but before we get into that, we're going to do something that we meant to do last week, and we didn't, and we're horrible people. But I've got the Andor trailer. Andor season 2 starts in just a few weeks.
Less than 50 days, yeah.
A couple months.
Yeah.
And the season 2 trailer has dropped. We're going to watch the trailer. I honestly, this trailer has been out for almost 2 weeks now. I have not seen it.
I've seen it once now.
I haven't watched it at all. I haven't even seen TV spots. How about that? Anytime I see Diego Luna's face on Facebook Reels or TikTok or anything else, scroll up, because I know what that is. I know it, and they're plugging hard, and they're trying to get me to watch it. And those algorithms are killing.
They released that special look just the other day.
See,
I'm not really good.
Haven't even. I saw it. I've been on Disney Plus. I watched Revenge of the Sith. I have been strong, and my fortitude and my will.
You have been strong in the Force.
That's right. So we're gonna watch the Andor trailer. Let me find my mouse real quick. Just because I want to watch it, and I want to watch it. I want to get a first-time reaction view. So if it gets all wonky, y'all holler and wave at me and let me know. But it should be fine. So here we go. Andor season 2 trailer. Is it choppy?
It's choppy.
Yeah, I thought so. Hang on. It didn't like that.
Ruh-roh.
So we're going to do Ruh-roh. So we're going to do it this way, and maybe this will be better.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have David log out. He's going to watch the trailer. He's going to log back in and tell us what he thought of it.
It was amazing. Okay, let's try this one. You might get some echo on this one now. Maybe. We'll see. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, it didn't like that. I played it a minute ago. What happened?
Striked already.
Something about your storage.
No, it's not my storage because it played it. I had it up and sharing before the. Oh, I see what it is. Okay, I see what happened here. I think I see what happened. Hang on a minute. I'll get this going. Maybe I'll get this going. Well, while we're waiting for me to figure things out here. Oh, nope. Pause. Don't start yet. All right. It's because I had... What in the world? All right. Let's do this just to be safe. Oh, didn't want to do that either. I clicked the wrong button.
What is going on?
I don't know. We'll figure this out eventually. All right. Let's try again. Here we go. Maybe.
At this point, I'm starting to feel like Lucasfilms is actively working against us. At this
Still
point, I'm starting to feel like Lucasfilms.
Who you want to win?
Are we still choppy?
Yeah. Yes.
I thought so. And probably echoing too, huh?
Yes.
All right. Well, we weren't going to watch the Andor season 2 trailer, but we are not going to watch the Andor because I can't get it to work for some reason. StreamYard.
We'll have to record it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe we can do that after the show tonight. We might record a first-time view for me. But anyway, I can already tell you the soundtrack is not impressing me. But just from the first few bars of it. But I'm sure they will not use pop music within a Star Wars property. I hope.
I don't know. We got the power of one, so you never know. Andor might get a song.
Anything's better than that.
I think they're just using it for the trailer because of what the name of the song is.
What was it? I didn't even. What's the
name of the song? Song's called Revolution.
Oh, well, yeah. Sure, it makes perfect sense.
Because in the special look that came out a few days ago, it was regular music.
Awesome. Now
I just hope Andor doesn't die in the last episode or something. That would
be
and that would just.
Well, he won't.
Yeah, the last episode is going to be just a recap.
He don't die until Rogue One, so he won't die in the last episode of this.
I sure hope they're going to make a sequel to season 2. Really hope that happens.
I heard George Lucas has directed the sequel to Rogue One.
Rogue 2.
Yeah, it's coming out May 25th, 1977.
So, Star Wars Episode 4: A New Rogue.
It's going to cover the events that happened between the Tantive 4 taking off and the Star Destroyer catching up with the Tantive.
Oh, yeah, that reminds me. On the Sith Dominion, we were talking about Rogue One, and Dr. Data said that Rogue One took place in 4 BBY. And I was like, Zane and I were like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like
we were
maybe
like
4 hours or 4 days,
we were like,
maybe.
Yeah, we were like, no, it is. It's like, that is BBY. Like, that's right. It's like
0 BBY.
Yeah.
It's like,
did he use Chat GPT again?
Probably. You weren't there to keep
it takes place in
orders,
just BBY.
so. Yeah. So.
Yes, I was watching Daredevil. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and then I forgot to tell Dana that it was a 2-episode premiere. So he was like, all right, Debbie should be on in about an hour. And then at the hour mark, I was like, oh, right, it's a 2-episode premiere.
Yeah, it was 2 hours.
And I was going to say, and the fact that I think the first episode was actually just over an hour.
An hour and 1 minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the second episode was like 49 minutes.
I was like, you're not getting any Debbie tonight, all right?
Yeah.
And not for the next 7 weeks.
I paused it one time in between the 2 episodes so I could get up and go to the bathroom. So, and I shockingly, because I watched it up here, I watched it in my big blue chair back there. And surprisingly, because Luke's phone is not allowed to come upstairs, and Luke left his phone for 2 hours so that he could come upstairs and watch Daredevil. I was so excited. Wow. It made me happy.
Did he like it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
My son, who's not the biggest Disney Plus fan, or Disney fan, because of what's gone down with Star Wars and some of the Marvel projects. So I wasn't gonna. I tried to avoid all conversations in regards to that. And he texted me Tuesday, or not Tuesday. He texted me Wednesday. He goes, "Did you watch Daredevil?" I was like, "Yes,
of course."
And
like asked me, "Did I eat breakfast?" Like,
did the sun come up this morning?
I was like, hesitantly, I was like, "Did you?" Because I was afraid I was going to get this big rant, like, "Oh my god, and they ruined it," blah blah blah. But no, he really enjoyed it. He really liked it. So I was like, "Oh, thank God! Now I can talk to him about Marvel stuff again." Because I've been avoiding it.
Not just Marvel stuff, just that one thing.
Just that one thing. That's right. But if you want our full opinion on that, check back with us on Monday night, right on MCU Mondays, and we're going to be going over both of the episodes in depth, full of spoilers, enduring the tragedies.
We'll have a memorial.
We'll just say we're going to endure the tragedies, because we won't spoil it for anybody tonight that may or may not have seen it.
Maybe some bagpipes. You never know.
Yeah. Maybe Kingpin died. Oh.
When I was a boy,
I heard Daredevil died in the first episode.
Yeah, Daredevil died in the first episode. Yeah. That's why they're calling it Born Again. They're bringing in
as Nicolas Cage.
They're actually they've recast him as a 14-year-old white girl who has super sensitive hearing, and she can still see, but she spends most of the time angsting about how bad her life is.
God, my parents just don't understand me.
That's my sisters right there.
Anyway.
They don't watch this anyway.
So anyway, let's get back to Star Wars. Debbie, what is a favorite pop culture reference of yours from Star Wars that you may have caught it, Like, what's one of your favorite pop culture references from Star Wars that's not Star Wars? Or are there just too many?
There are a lot. When I was making the thumbnail, I was just like, I can't fit everything on here. But the Civil War one, that's always my favorite. Every time it pops up, I crack up because I'm like, okay, now I feel old.
Geez, Tony, how old is this kid?
But the Family Guy, Blue Harvest, that's always hilarious.
All three of them. All three
Yeah.
of them are good.
Biscardi brought up oh shoot. Oh, that 70s show. There was an episode. And I had totally forgotten about that, or else I would have tried to fit that in there. But
is that the one where he's talking to his dad and he's holding up the figures and his dad's holding up the tools and they're trying to communicate with each other? Because there was an episode like that where the kid was like, "Who is this?" And he goes, "I don't know. The big guy, breathing problem, Darth Vader." He goes, "Okay, what is this?" I don't know, a pokey thing. It's a screwdriver.
I don't know if it's that episode or not, but they're actually in costume. So
okay. Now the problem I had with that episode, the one that I just mentioned, was the fact that he was holding up the toys, but those weren't the 1970s toys. So some inaccuracies there with the
timeline.
With the prop people. They didn't get the right
Oh god,
toys.
here we go.
They didn't get the proper toys.
Worst episode ever. That's not what the 1970s Luke Skywalker looked like.
That's not my Luke Skywalker.
Joints like that. Those things had stiff arms. What are you talking about? That's not it.
Come on.
The Muppets, the show, not the movies. When Luke was on there, or Mark Hamill.
Oh yeah.
Mark
That's
Hamill
probably
and
one of the
C-3PO and R2-D2.
That's one of the funniest things. Oh my god, it was hilarious. At least it was back then.
We might need to do an episode talking about that because that was a good episode.
I could go on, but move on to somebody.
Yeah. Okay, Cam. Let's hear what you got.
Well, I have a few. I mean, but whenever I think of Star Wars references, the first thing I think of is Family Guy, which I mean, I've just been like indoctrinated into that, I guess. But I wasn't really a fan of the Blue Harvest episodes, just because at the time that I saw them, I was like just really getting back into Star Wars, like on an obsessive level, and so I didn't take kindly to my beloved franchise being made fun of. But there was one particular Family Guy kind of cutaway gag. I forget what the setup was, but it showed Luke Skywalker holding his lightsaber, about to perform eye surgery on a woman, and Obi-Wan says, "Luke, use the Force." And Luke says, "Really? Are you sure? Because all I have to just..." And Obi-Wan says, "Just use the Force." And Luke says, "Okay." He levitates the lightsaber and it just stabs right through the woman's head. And he looks at Obi-Wan and he says, "Are you happy now?" And Obi-Wan says, "I've never been happy."
I've never been happy.
Favorite Star Wars like reference in anything is the entire last scene from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where Mark Hamill comes out as cock knocker, and they ignite their bong sabers, and Jay cuts off Mark Hamill's giant hand, and he says, "Oh, not again."
No, the best line out of that was Chris Rock's, where he says, when they ignite their bong lightsabers, and he says, "George Lucas is going to sue somebody." That was great. But yes, I completely agree.
And I'm gonna drop the one F-bomb for the stream. Luke is or Mark Hamill is engaging in the lightsaber duel, and he says, "Don't fuck with the Jedi Master, son."
I don't think that counts because that's a quote.
Yeah.
So I think we're good. Dingus Den is on. Hey, love that movie. Yes, one of my favorites. I love all of Kevin Smith's movies. I think they're amazing. And he throws Star Wars references in like all of his movies. Clerks had a great one with the where they're talking about the contractors that were working on the Death Star. They were working on the Death Star 2 when all of a sudden the militants come in and destroy the Death Star. Now all of a sudden you're just an independent contractor there working, building a roof or something, and you get blown up by terrorist radicals. Oh, Ubaldo's on too. What's going on?
Hey.
So Kevin Smith is he's obviously a fan of Star Wars. So Andrew, do you have one?
Yeah, I mean, Friends. I know you mentioned that earlier. Friends is great. I love that one a lot. Fanboys is a great movie. I mean, that's full of Star Wars. Yeah,
that
we'll
is a
agree to
Star Wars
disagree.
reference. That whole movie is a reference.
Yeah,
Oh, come
it
on,
is a
Debbie.
whole-
That movie's hilarious.
I can't stand Seth Rogen. I'm sorry.
I know. And he's got two, and he's in it twice. He's got two roles.
Yeah.
So
I
One of
can't.
the most grating voices I've ever heard.
Guys,
Yeah, his voice and his laugh. I just want to bitch slap him every single time. I can't stand him.
now see, this one's interesting because E.T. kind of has a Star Wars reference before it became a star, like because
before it
then
was a
E.T.
Star
was-
Wars reference.
Yeah, so I'll count that. I love E.T.
And Elliot, when he was showing him the Star Wars figures, he had the
Well,
right
that's right.
figures. He had
That's
the
right.
proper figures.
Trying
Who
to
sits
think,
there
I
and
mean,
watches for that
Greedo
shit?
and Boba Fett.
yeah. Details are important.
Details are important.
Details
Exactly.
make the movie. So
The Star Trek convention scene that was in I'm gonna say that was the one from what you call it, Fanboys.
mhm.
Yes. I'm Shatner. I can get anything. I'm William Shatner. It was awesome.
That's all great.
That had to have made up for Seth Rogen, right, Debbie? The whole Shatner thing? No?
I watched that movie once and that was it.
Ah, horrible.
Wow. The things you learn about people. You think you know
Kind of
someone.
like you're the same way with Tom Cruise.
That's true.
I won't watch
Balances out.
anything with Seth
No,
Rogen in it.
my hatred of Tom Cruise
Not even super bad. Wow.
supersedes. Oh, see, I won't touch super bad either. I think that's just I didn't care for it.
You think you know people. You think. All right. All right. Is this a confess show? I'm just kidding.
I just didn't care for it.
One reference
What about-
that I'm cutting.
Oh, go ahead.
One reference that I'm surprised hasn't been mentioned yet. It's when if you guys watch The Big Bang Theory, it's whenever
Yes.
Professor Proton passes away and he comes
Oh!
back to Sheldon as a Force ghost.
That was a good one, but I'm sorry. The greatest scene ever, and it's a Star Wars reference, was when Sheldon was hanging out with James Earl Jones, and they go
Yes.
ding dong ditch Carrie Fisher, and she runs out. It's not funny, James. Then why am I laughing? Oh my god! I about when I saw that. I mean, I was laughing through that episode. I love the show. I've watched the show since it premiered, and I watched every day until it finished. Was one of my favorite shows, mainly because I could watch the characters, and I was like, I know that guy. I know that. Oh, I am that guy. So I could watch as things were happening. I was like, oh, this is me. But then when that episode, and he says, "Let me guess, you like Star Wars." I like Star Wars too.
Another one I
gotta
just
love-
remembered is Austin Powers. One of the movies has a opening crawl.
The
pretty
second
sure.
one, one,
Yes.
because I think that was the one. That one was actually released in 1999 when the Phantom Menace dropped. And in
Mhm.
fact, I remember one of the previews for Austin Powers 2, and it had like the throne, the Emperor's throne from Return of the Jedi, and it said, "Oh, we lost Can."
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh. But anyway, it had the throne from the emperors, and it says this year, the great. There's a movie. It says something like, "There's a movie. It's premiering this year that will continue a saga. And if you go to see that movie, maybe you should go see this one too." And then the chair turned around, and it was Dr. Evil. And hello. You go see another movie this season. Go see Austin Powers too.
Oh, man.
But yes, it dropped in. In fact, I remember because that was, man, 1999 had some good ones. Because you had the Phantom Menace drop that year, you had Austin Powers 2
Matrix
dropped, the Matrix dropped that year. It was a good time for movies. It was a good year.
Back
I
when
remember
movies
it
were
like it
actually
was
good.
Yeah, not just.
I remember that
rehash.
year like it was yesterday.
I'm gonna bet you weren't even alive back then. So
Wasn't even a thought. So
yeah, I didn't think so. But again, yes. Well, that, and it had the opening crawl, and it had when they were on the moon base. Dr. Evil and Austin are facing off, and he goes, "Oh, and Austin, I am your father." And he says, "Really?" He says, "No, I can't back that up. I'm sorry."
Oh man.
So again, hilarious. Oh, I see another one. Back to the Future. Back to the Future's right there, right underneath me. My name is Darth Vader. I am a refugee from the planet Vulcan. Hilarious.
And then he plays Eddie Van Halen.
Eddie Van Halen. Silent Earthling. And again, and I mean, honestly, what I'm trying to think, I don't ever see, I used to see news reports, when you would have Star Wars come out, when the movies would come out, when toys would, oh, there he is. Oh, he's live and in person now.
Yes.
Oh, we get a face reveal. Wow.
Yeah, I'm finally back home, and I'm still in my scrubs, as you can see. So
That's fine. Oh, Scrubs. That one had a Star Wars reference.
it did.
Yeah, there was in fact, I think it was the first episode where it was Kelso and Dr. Cox, and he said, "You realize that the two men that you want to be your mentors are actually fighting for your soul." And Kelso and Dr. Cox turned into Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, and they were lightsaber dueling.
I don't
honestly,
recall. I'll have to go back and rewatch Scrubs. I used to love that show, but I didn't watch it like adamantly to really get into it. I just watched it because it was something to watch.
I haven't watched it in 2 or 3 years, but yeah, I used to watch it all the time just because I didn't watch it when it jumped and when they were going to end the show, and then it jumped to like ABC or something, and they were at the school rather than the hospital. I was like, you lost me on this. But yeah, the first 6 or 7 seasons, they were amazing. So hilarious. Dang it, now I lost it. I was thinking of something and Cam joined and I forgot now.
Dang it.
Sorry to derail your train of thought.
It's okay.
It's the Scrubs. It's distracting. So
yeah.
And see here, I thought blue was a relaxing color.
We could see your neck. It's distracting.
Well, I do have a very nice neck.
Most of the times he's on here with it on a shirt with no sleeves on
true.
it. So
actually, good.
I am wearing that underneath. I am wearing my white beater underneath. So I'm staying true to myself here.
I've got my Zen is back, so I'm good.
Everything is normal. Everything is normal.
Dingus Den says always blame Cam. Yeah, of course.
When in doubt, just say Cam did it.
Probably.
Or we blame Andrew.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's the easiest thing. Beat up on the youngest guy.
Andrew's that like little brother that we all pick on.
Well, usually Dave and I are on the same wavelength, so you guys are out.
Oh, come on.
Aw.
We were actually talking while you were gone. We were talking about 1999 being an amazing year for film and movies.
Often considered one of the best, sometimes the best,
She
depending
had
on who you talk to.
Phantom Menace, Austin Powers 2, Matrix, first Matrix movie, the only good Matrix movie.
Mhm.
That started it all.
Yeah.
Coming to the theater this summer. Or whenever it was released, I don't know.
In a world where machines have taken over, one man stands between them and disaster.
Now, I'll say this, and Debbie, I'm kind of surprised you didn't bring this up. You know, I'm going to stray away from TVs and movies here. And Weird Al has done some amazing work with the Star Wars universe. I know one of Debbie's favorite songs is the Weird Al song.
Well, and he did the Phantom Menace one before it came out.
Yeah, that's the one Debbie likes.
Yeah.
So
I do.
I can't even remember the name of it. How about that?
I've talked about this a little bit like in streams long past, but there is a series of books called the Bobaverse series, written by Dennis E. Taylor, and those books are full of Star Wars references. Like the first book starts with the main character attending like a Star Wars convention, and he talks about all the stormtroopers and plural Chewbacca that are around him. And later on in the series, he has like an artificial intelligence that kind of helps him out, and he can make it take whatever form he wants. And so the form he makes it take is Admiral Akbar. And if you listen to the audiobooks, Ray Porter, the narrator, does an incredible Admiral Akbar impression anytime that AI talks.
Nice.
The name of the song is The Saga Begins.
Yes.
Bye, Mr. Anakin guy.
Although I will say this, he did a Star Wars before that too, when he did Yoda. Yes. That one's one of my favorites, mainly because one of the lines in it is the long-term contract I have signed said I'll be making these movies to the end of time. I'll be playing this part till I'm old and gray. And now Mark Hamill has successfully fulfilled that role to where he's old and gray. He's making Star Wars films. So there you go.
Well, and there's the one song, it's like Too White and Nerdy. I don't know what the title is, but there's a part where he buys
White
the
and
holiday
Nerdy.
special.
Where he buys the holiday special.
Yeah.
He had a
It's
back alley deal.
Yeah.
Or that one bad lip reading song that they did with Yoda, talking about how he's going to poke you with his stick.
Seagulls. And that one got to be so popular around my house that I've got the MP3 and we'll listen to it in the car and sing along with it just because. That's like a track. Just because it's the song has
It's a track.
It's a track. But I mean, it's it's not. I mean, it doesn't really have anything to do with Star Wars other than that they used the Empire Strikes Back
footage
cuts. Yeah, but again, just hilarious. It's great. What else? I had another song too that I was thinking of. Fet's Vet. I don't know if you've heard that one.
Yep.
Andrew, you might be a little young for that one. That one has some naughty language in it.
Makes sense.
It came with a parental advisory sticker.
Make sure you get your mom's permission before listening to it.
No, see what I'll do is I'll wait till everyone's asleep, and I'll just put.
And
my
he'll turn on his
headphones
earphones and turn off the lights and be like,
Go underneath the
going down
covers.
You know what? You laugh. I honestly, I downloaded that song the first time on Napster. So, yeah, you laugh at LimeWire. You go right ahead. because that's where I got that song initially.
Oh, Napster.
I
That's
love
from
putting
the social
pictures on my
network.
computer.
I fired it up once, and this was probably the last time I used it, and I jumped over to LimeWire. But I fired it up once, and it said the thing said you've been tagged. Something about I'm being sued by Metallica now for illegally downloading songs.
I
Blah,
remember
blah, blah, blah.
that.
I was like, I'm not gonna mess with this anymore.
Well,
I'll go to a
that
different
back
one.
then was the Nigerian prince
Yeah.
of Napster.
When the Nigerian prince emails you directly asking for money, you donate. When he needs help, you help.
I'm trying to do my part to be a good Samaritan.
You'll be receiving an email shortly about. For those of you that are young like Andrew and don't know, Napster and LimeWire were in the early days of MP3s and music sharing. This was like I don't know. It wasn't really dark web because you could download it anywhere. But you could download the songs for free from other users that had the songs downloaded on their computer. So basically, you would copy the track, and that's people got all kinds of hot and bothered by it because it was, Britney Spears could only afford a Jetstream 3 instead of the Jetstream 4 because people were illegally downloading her songs. So which honestly, I think that led to why concerts now, if you try to go to a concert, it's like insanely expensive to go to. I mean, even the high seats are like hundreds of dollars. And I think that's why, because they're not making any money on album sales anymore because you can go to Spotify and listen to it for free.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at the statistics for albums coming out these days, and, way back in the day, it'd be like, oh, this album sold 4 million copies within its first week. And nowadays it's like, you're lucky if your album sells 1,000 copies in its first week.
Yeah. Because everything's streaming, and it's very easily, movies could do the same thing. So anyway.
Why should I get the Blu-ray when I can just watch it for free at my house? Well, I mean, because if anything happens to that streaming service, or if they decide to take it off there, then you're kind of SOL.
You don't get to watch it anymore. You need a hard copy.
And Blu-ray's higher quality than streaming.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. I'll try not to be. No promises.
Andrew's got some naughty movies behind him, I'm sure. So
Backdoor Sluts 9.
That's worse than Backdoor Sluts 8.
That makes Crotch Capers 3 look like Naughty Nurses 2.
I got that reference.
I got
that reference.
Debbie and I did not.
There's a South Park episode called what is it? It's got a long name.
It's like returning the VHS to the Lord or something.
It's like the return of the Two Towers to the Fellowship of the Ring or something like that. It's hilarious.
You shall not pip, pip, pip. You shall not pip, pip, pip.
Come on, guys. Let me play Lord of the Rings with you. All right, Butters. Oh. Stop it.
Neato. This is good.
Imagine just clipping this out of context of David going,
Oh, Lord.
Oh, man.
But anyway, I think I remembered what I was going to talk about. Franchises. Honestly, are there any other franchises out there to where when a movie drops, you've got people standing in line? Well, you don't stand in line for theaters anymore. You just buy your tickets online and go sit in but where back in the day where people would actually stand in line. I remember when I went to go see Phantom Menace, I was in Savannah, Georgia, and I want a copy.
Hey, if it makes us go viral,
Hey,
it's
I'll
worth it.
take it. But I remember standing in Savannah, Georgia, and the theater had Phantom Menace on like 4 or 5 screens, and then there were lines of people lined up for like all 4 or 5 screens. Even though, my movie doesn't start for another 2 hours, I'm standing in line so I can get a good seat in the theater because you didn't have assigned seating back then. But I mean, you've got some massive franchises out there, but like Star Trek, you could throw on a Star Trek movie, and I don't recall people lining up for a Star Trek movie, like at all.
Well, I mean, so Star Trek in general is still kind of considered the black sheep when it comes to geeky fandoms, because Star Trek is typically associated with, I mean, even more so than Star Wars, it's typically associated with, you know, people who live in their parents' basement and, you know, walk around thinking that they're characters from the movies or shows or whatnot.
Get all the ladies.
I don't know. The early movies of Star Trek, I stood in line for. Same thing for Indiana Jones. The first couple of movies we stood in line for.
I think Batman. I think the original Batman. We may have stood in line for Batman. I say
Yeah.
the original, not the original. I'm talking about
I know what you mean. 89.
the '89 Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, because that was kind of. Oh, I did stand in line for Last Crusade. You're right. I did stand in line for that one.
I remember standing in line for The Dark Knight.
I stood in line for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull,
I'm
but
sorry.
no. The thing is I got advanced screening passes, so I got to see it like 3 weeks before the movie actually came out. So, but we had to be at the theater at a certain time, and so we got there early because it was Indiana Jones. Nobody knew what it was about. I didn't know it was going to be bad. Dude, what if the movie sucks? But yeah, we went. My brother and I went to go see that in advance. So,
well, I mean, hey, if the movie's bad, you can make a YouTube channel completely devoted to trashing it.
that's right.
My husband and I, we stood in line for Jurassic Park.
I don't remember. The problem with me in Jurassic Park is the fact that I saw that movie so many times on the theater that I honestly don't remember. I watched that movie so much, it wasn't even funny. I think I saw that movie like 7 or 8 times on the theater. And that's not including dollar show movies. That was like all the time. I was at that theater. As much as people were watching Titanic, I was watching Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I stood in line for Titanic too.
Ugh. Ugh. It was a horrible movie. The boat sinks, people die. We don't need a 2-hour love story behind it. I'm sorry.
Titanic.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Now,
Andy
I mean,
knew what I was talking about. It's like Pearl Harbor.
if that movie had been directed by like Roland Emmerich, then yeah, you know, the guy who made like The Day After Tomorrow and Moonfall and all these disaster movies, it would probably be a lot more
Moonfall.
entertaining.
What
Yeah.
about he should have got Michael Bay to direct it? Then it would have been really good.
And the movie with
No.
what I've the Jack and Rose are going down into the water. Titanic sinks. What I've done starts playing. Hold your breath.
And
I'm right
iceberg
with you.
comes out of nowhere.
You
He hits
Baldo.
the ship and goes, "Krah!" and the ship starts sinking like, "Rah!"
And as it keeps
Massive
going down from the bottom,
explosion.
there's a blah!
Those aren't ideas. Those are special effects.
Oh man.
More South Park references.
Oh,
Say what you will about Mel Gibson, but he does no story structure.
Oh, my nipples, they hurt. They hurt when I twist them.
You want to torture me, don't you? How far do you think you can get this pine cone up my butt?
But Mel Gibson, we don't want to torture you, but you have no choice, right?
I get it. Ah.
So stupid.
Oh man.
Debbie doesn't look amused.
And I'm over here loving this.
It's South Park.
I don't
again.
watch South Park, so I have no idea. My
No.
kids probably would.
Andrew, do we have any fan questions tonight?
We do. We
Cool.
got
What we got?
one from Ubaldo, who has
Awesome.
been watching in the chat. He says, with the recent show like Daredevil Born Again, are comic books still popular? Because I picked up my comics today at my local comic book shop. I see people looking for a fast read and not finding the quick excitement like the show.
You know what? My comic book shop, because I went there on Saturday, mine was very crowded. But most of the people that were in my comic book store were there to buy like gaming supplies.
Yeah, like D&D or Warhammer or Magic.
Yeah. I mean, there were a few buying comics, but they were mostly buying the trade paperbacks. I mean, it wasn't like they were buying certain issues. I mean, every once in a while, I'll see people that are in there that are buying. Like I'll go buy single issues, but and that's not to say that people aren't there doing that. That's just what I've noticed. So,
well, comic books in general just aren't as ubiquitous as they used to be. I mean, but for the most part, a lot of people have the attitude of, why would I go and buy a comic when I can just read it online? And most people who do buy comic books just buy them for the novelty value.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of that to an extent as well. You know, a good portion of the comic books that I own that are in my collection, I haven't even opened just because I have them just to have them.
That's like saying I've got toys that I haven't opened yet.
Well, you don't.
They lose their value when you take them out of the box.
Huh?
They lose their value when you take. Oh.
Yeah.
Saying the same thing.
But no, okay. So I look at it like we were talking about the Big Bang Theory, and they had the Spock episode where Sheldon got the transporter toy for the Miko Star Trek line, and Spock said, "Well, what is it?" "Well, it's a toy." "Well, what's it for?" "It's for entertainment." "Yes. So if you leave it in the box, then I can't play with it, and therefore that's illogical.
And then he breaks it.
But see, that's the way, because Legos, you would be surprised at the number of collectors that are out there, Lego collectors. They buy the Legos and they don't do anything with them.
Yeah.
They keep them in the box and they put them on shelves. And I'm like, why? What's the point?
Yeah. With Legos, it's like, build it. Enjoy it.
Enjoy it. That's right.
Yeah. If I'm going to spend as much money as Legos cost, I'm going to build it and enjoy it.
Current top-selling issues are the Absolute Ultimate Universe books, as well as Transformers. I'm working right now on Wolverine Revenge, and there's a new Doctor Doom line that just came out that Luke has started reading that I've been meaning to read. But there was also a new Shang-Chi that I've been looking. It's not new. It's been out for a while, but the it's like Shang-Chi versus the Marvel Universe or something like that. And I've got the first issue, but I want to finish that one off. Anyway, all right. Something new. I want to throw out a Star Wars. Let's throw out a Star Wars trivia question for everyone, just because. And I don't know. This is random. Let's see here.
The answer is obviously onions. Thank you.
What holiday is celebrated by Tatooine's largest annual pod race?
Boonta.
The Boonta Eve Classic.
Dang it, can't beat me to it.
This reminds me of a
code for I don't remember.
Yes, that's the one. One World Under Doom. And yes, it has been amazing. I've been buying, and the only reason I bought that and this is the first time I ever saw a Red Band comic book. And I was like, holy cow, they make Red Band comic books? All right. So I've bought them all in Red Band just because. And yes, I've read them all, Cam. I didn't leave them in their packaging. Sorry. It's illogical not to read the books if you buy them. In 2004, Star Wars was released on DVD for the very first time. And my wife, well, she wasn't my wife at the time, but we went to Hastings, which was this old-timey store that sold things like books and DVDs and video games, and it was all in one spot, and you could go and and CDs, so you could go and peruse things and purchase them and have physical copies of them. But they were having a midnight launch of the Star Wars DVDs, and they had a coffee bar. And before the DVDs actually released, they were having a Star Wars trivia contest. And it was just basically, we're going to ask the question, you raise your hand, and if you get the question right, we'll give you a free coffee. After 5 or 6 free coffees, they said, okay, you come up here and ask the questions because you're getting everything.
You're going to make them go bankrupt.
Yeah, you had one guy in the back who was just going, nerd!
Nerd! I did. When we used to live in a different, when we lived in our old house over 10 years ago, there was a group of kids that would go and they would LARP at the local park that was right there. And the first time we drove by them, I saw them out there, and I rolled down my window, nerd! And I drove off. Every time we saw them after that, little Luke, like 2 or 3 years old, he would see him out the window and he would go, nerd! Nice.
You're a bad influence.
And then was your house ever egged or toilet papered?
No, never.
Okay, so they weren't juveniles.
They were LARPers, so they played their little LARP, and then they went back to their mother's basement so they didn't get sunburned.
Until you have one guy who shows up at your front door still wearing his wig and a robe and a foam sword. You have insulted me for the last time.
I will use my powers on you.
Fireball! Fireball! Fireball!
Oh my god.
Debbie, what have we got for shameless plugs tonight? Do we have anything?
Tomorrow night I'll be over on the Geek and I podcast YouTube channel. We're
She's
doing,
way back
she's sneezing.
Oh.
We're doing Star Trek the original series, Devil in the Dark. Saturday we have the Geek Gauntlet. Monday we're doing MCU or Daredevil Born Again premiere episodes.
Episodes, plural.
Yeah, episodes.
It's Dead Devil Born Again.
Yeah. And Tuesday, I assume Andrew will be over on Sith Dominion.
And not watching Daredevil?
I don't know. I think I gotta start watching Daredevil when it comes out.
Does that mean he's not going to be on the show on Monday night because he didn't do the homework?
No, I've done the homework. I just didn't do it on premiere night.
All right.
Which was a mistake because I opened up social media the next morning and yikes. So
now, Andrew,
social
don't
media.
forget, they're talking about the movie Steel with Shaquille O'Neal.
Ah, all right. I think that's on Tubi.
Don't watch it.
Yeah.
No, I have been. Yikes.
It's not good.
Andrew's like, no, I don't have to watch it. I've got the I own the DVD.
I've got the better version metal at home, so.
Oh god. Yeah. Did you hear about that one knockoff movie that they made from Steel called Iron Man? Jeez, what a terrible movie.
Cam, what have you got shameless plug wise?
So this Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, we're doing Cam and Focus Weekly. I wasn't able to stream this past Sunday because it was mine and my wife's 4-year anniversary weekend as well as her birthday weekend, and so We were out of town Thursday. We went out of town to a different town on Friday. We went out of town to a different town on Saturday. And then Sunday, I was like, I can't even function. I can't see straight. But so that this Sunday is going to be Cam and Focus Weekly. We're going to be talking about musicals, movies that should have been musicals, movies that shouldn't have been musicals, movies that got remade into musicals that maybe shouldn't have been. So it's going to be kind of a broad topic, but I think we'll have a bit of fun discussing it. I already have a few movies in mind that I would like to kind of tear apart a little bit, so it's going to be fun.
Awesome. Andrew, do you have anything shameless plug wise?
No, all of mine have already been mentioned, so
Cool, because I'm about to mention one. I got news. I got my email the other day. Yeah. I got my email the other day. I have got I will be live and in charge at Dallas Fan Expo yet again this year. This will be my 4th or 5th year going to the expo. It's been a blast every time. And this year, Andrew will be joining me at Fan Expo. We got him a pass so that he can go too. And 3 days. And
wow.
I'm taking 2 days off of work mainly because that way I could sleep in on Friday. And then if you've ever been to a convention for 3 days, the Dallas Fan Expo is May 30th through June 1st.
Yes.
May 30th, 31st, and June 1st. But if you've ever been to a 3-day convention and you've done the entire convention open to close 3 days, on Sunday when you get home, you are dead. I mean, I may not be on camera on Focus that weekend just because I'm already going to tell you I'm going to be just completely. So I took Monday off.
Probably
of
me
too,
as well.
So that
I'll have a 3-hour drive home. So.
Yeah.
Wow! Finally, Andrew can be a real boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
you should come. It's gonna be a blast. It'll be fun. It always is. Anthony Daniels will be there. So,
what are the dates again?
May 30th, May 31st, and June 1st.
Okay.
So the last 2 days.
I see if I can swing that. I mean, Texas is only
Oh, I wasn't. I was talking to Dingus here.
Oh well, damn it.
Sorry, Cam, you're not allowed to come.
You were extending the invitation to me. I was going to be like,
yeah, you come too. Shoot, I don't care.
Just send us your gas bill, just.
So.
It's only a 18-hour drive. No big deal.
Never mind.
I was going to say, I'll one of these, or they're going to announce Hayden Christensen here pretty soon. Hayden Christensen and maybe Harrison Ford, and then Debbie will be like, oh, I'm going to need to come down to.
She will walk it too.
No.
What?
For Harrison, if you got to see Harrison, photo op with Harrison. No?
I ain't driving to Texas and I ain't flying to Texas.
Who are you and what have you done with Debbie?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm shocked. I'm kind of surprised.
Check her pulse.
Are you one of those pod people? He was addressing the important. Oh God! Come on.
You know what, Dingus? If you can't go to the Fan Expo in October, usually is Fan Fest. It's not as big, but it's still pretty. They've usually got a pretty good cast there. I got to meet. God, I can't think of his name. I got to hang out with him for a little bit. The guy that played Ezra in the Ahsoka TV show.
Oh yeah, Taylor something, right?
Yeah, I got to meet him. I got to meet Gates McFadden. I can't think of the other guy's name. He played Q in the Next Generation.
John Delancey.
John Delancey, yeah. So got to chit chat with them for a little bit. That's a lot of fun. So, anyway, that's all well and good. We will be there live and in charge, and I'll be doing some live streaming from there and if anything, I'll post a whole lot of pictures because it's going to be a blast. So anyway, that's all coming up. other than that, I think we're done for tonight. So y'all all have a great, great rest of your week. There's not much left. Enjoy your weekend. And if you've got nice weather, go out and enjoy it. I think
Go touch some grass. Come on.
yeah, go get out of your parents' basements. Go get some vitamin D in the sun. Debbie, stay on the couch.
I can do that.
I would come out of my parents' basement, but this chain to my leg. I mean, it kind of.
No, yeah, I get it. There's special circumstances. Anyway, don't forget to check us out on all the social media stuff, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that little bell icon for notifications so you know when we do go live. We will see all of you next week right here on Cantina Happy Hour. Y'all all have a great weekend, and may the force be with you all.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Pocket sand! Yeah!